Hello, this is the Real Estate Apostle, living my best life coach. And today is August the 6th, 2023. And I am excited. Oops. I used to be prepared for that. But anyway, today I'm here today because recently I come out of the closet as far as like giving up the ghost on this here Turo business that I did for a year, 1 year, one complete year and a month. Year and a month, I should have probably counted the days too. um, that I, recently I called the code. I threw the towel in. And for those of you who don't know me, I'm 52 years old. I'm a Gen Xer, and my channel is dedicated to helping middle-aged adults as myself overcome the fear of leaving behind a job to start a business. And along the way, I have tried and started several businesses. For those of you who've been rocking with me since 2020, when I first started this here Real Estate Apostle channel, because I had just recently got my real estate license. Anyway, that was like 3 or 4 businesses ago. But the Turo's a ride sharing platform that allows you to rent your car to people, to guests on this platform. So it's like you have your own little not personal, but you have your own little rental car company, this here Turo business. So back in 2022, June of 2022, I decided I pivoted. Y'all that was following me, y'all saw I had took a big loss on the real estate. And that's what it's all about, y'all. Like I said, this channel is dedicated to helping folks overcome the fear. And it is scary. I ain't gonna lie. There were some almost tears. I'm gonna lie. There were some tears that was shed, especially before I kind of woke up and said, hey, wait a minute. You have a nurse's license. Go back to work. Like, you can go back to work and get yourself out of this. But I did, like I said before, I had stuck my head in the sand, and I was like a deer in headlight. So I can't have the head in the sand if I'm deer in headlight. Anyway, I froze and panicked or whatever. Anyway, so all that to say is that whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger, and don't be afraid to try. Because if at first you don't succeed, try again, and eventually you will succeed. I'm just grateful that, that's the first thing that I actually, did, and it actually worked, where it was generate, even though it wasn't generating a profit, it generated income. It generated some money. And that was my first little entrepreneur, something that I did, and actually was, getting deposits and stuff. Like, even though it wasn't enough, but it still was deposits. And it just gave me the confidence to know that I am on the right track. So today, did I title it? Yeah, I did. The pros and cons. I want to talk a lot about that is because, one of the reasons why I quit was, I'm sure some of these cons, as far as like the amount of work that was required, the amount of work. When I went back to work in March, and, for those of you who don't know, I'm a registered nurse, and we nurses, we work 12 hours, pretty much 12 and a half hours is like that's just how it is. It's a long, demanding job. It's unpredictable. So here I am, returning back to work, but I've got this Turo business. I've got these cars that I've got to get out there. I got to put these little heifers out there on the strip and get them making some money, right? That was my plan when I went back to work, was to, do the Turo in between work and, to build the business up, because I was only wanting to just take one quick assignment and get back to, being an entrepreneur, right? Because this was, I had made it to, I think I was either 10 or 11 months since I had last worked. And so like by this time I'm like running out of money. The Turo business is bleeding me dry. It's not earning a profit at all. And every month I am making up the difference. I'm making up the difference. I've gotten all this debt, so like I'm stressed out because for those y'all who've been rocking with me from the beginning, y'all know how I felt about credit and stuff. Like I was really proud of my 797 credit score, and when it went into the toilet, I'm not gonna lie, it hurt. It it hurt. It really hurt, and it was hard for me to talk about it. I was just like, what? I just did this. I made this video. I done told everybody I'm doing this Turo thing, and now you're going to quit. Now you're going to quit. But the difference is that it's not that I'm quitting. This is not the business for me. I was not happy at all. I was not happy at all. Some of the cons that I discovered myself is that the amount of time that's required for the Turo business is not worth it. So here I am working 12 and a half hours, and I have an hour and a half commute both ways, right? So when I get home from work, I couldn't just, relax and go to sleep, get ready for bed. I had to wash cars, take pictures of cars, process cars, wait up to stay for guests to come in. And, it was just starting to, it was just wasn't worth it. And the fact that it wasn't generating any income, it was making the keep up with these cars and the guests just that much more distressing. It was really distressing. So I'm not going to tarry with y'all long today. I just wanted to come back out because I feel like I got a lot of stuff to get off my chest. So I'll probably be coming, every morning for like 20, 30 minutes just to talk about how relieved I am. Like today, I'm relieved because I've shut down the business, and instead of coming home and washing cars and dealing with guests and all this stuff, I'm able to start getting my life back together, my life back in order, and come up with the next business, because if at first you don't succeed, try again. And the business has to be something that is a labor of love for you, something that you enjoy. And I did not enjoy Turo. Even if it was making a lot of money, I still don't think the work, I wasn't enjoying it. And it did have a lot to do with the money. It was the money. The money. I'm sure if I was making a boatload of money, because of the work, the amount of, it was too much, really. And then too, like, I didn't have a partner. I was doing it by myself, and yeah, it was the money. I ain't gonna lie, it was the money. It was the money. And because I'm, still new to this whole entrepreneur stuff, and it was the first thing that I did that actually was making some money. I'm still stuck on this cough drop because of this little scratchy cough that I've been having for the last couple of days. Anyway, I had to wear a mask at work last night because, like after the COVID thing, whenever you have a cough or a scratchy throat, you're always stressed out that people are looking at you, judging you, thinking you got the Rona. But anyway, so that's why y'all see me doing this. I'm sucking on a cough drop because I can feel the cough ready at any moment to just jump out at me. So back to the title. The title of this here today's live is Turo Business Pros and Cons. Is it worth it? I should have put it isn't worth it. I'm going to change the title, so I'm going to do that right now. Let me change the title real quick here. Let's see here. It's not worth it. Uh-oh. Not, I should capitalize the whole not. It's not worth it. Boom. Saved. Okay, here we go. Now let me get back to our scheduled program. Okay, so Turo. I'm just excited because I already know what my new topic is going to be, and I'll be talking about it too. And we're going to be talking about credit, y'all, because my credit score went down, and I want to be able to show to. At first, I was like, it really hurt me, but then I started thinking, I was like, wait a minute. The best way to be able to help people is to be able to show how you overcame something, right? And this ain't the first time that I had a low credit score, right? So I know exactly what to do to get it back up there. and it's a lesson. So I know that's why the universe had me blind to the whole little situation, because that's just that's how you learn, right? That's how you learn. So I can't wait to coach you back into a high credit score. So today's topic, Turo business pros and cons. So we're going to be talking about if some people are considering starting this Turo business. I know I had some questions. People had questions, and I'll come back to and keep answering those questions, because folks was asking like, why'd you get Fords? So I wasn't necessarily looking for a Ford car, but it was the local dealership. So when I decided I was going to do Turo, I just went to Ford because it was a local dealership, and they gave me 3 cars. They gave me 3 cars. Well, not gave me, but they, approved me for 3 cars. And they were just bending over backward. It was the customer service. That's what I'm going to say that brought me to Ford. And after purchasing the Ford, I was impressed with the Ford. Y'all can look back on the videos and see that, I had nothing but good things to say about Ford. The Ford Pass, where I was utilizing that big time. I ran my whole Turo business remotely. Like I only met maybe 3 out of however many guests that I had. Maybe met like 3 of them. And that was only by accident, one person, I forgot the key. I did that one time, forgot the key in there. And the other times it was in passing, like they were coming to pick up a car or drop off a car as I was like checking a car, getting the car ready to check out, and that was it. I may see them in passing. But other than that, the whole thing was ran remotely, and the Ford app allowed that. So, I was impressed with Ford after, going around doing that. So the number one pro is the extra income stream, the extra stream of income. The reason why I'm going to say that to me is not a pro is because the amount of time. If you want, the goal is to have multiple streams of income. So you really don't want to have one stream that's taking 40 hours a week, right? You might as well just have, it was like I had 2 jobs. I had 2 jobs because, of the whole Turo thing. And I was literally, most days after I got home from work, I had to do something to touch cars. Either I was coming to check them back in because the person turned the car in that night, but I was already at work. So when that would happen, like if a guest returned the car at 8, I'm having to be at work at 6:30. So I would just remote lock it. And then that morning when I got off work, I'd just go to my drop spot and check the car in. So I would be checking the car in hours later after it had already been delivered. And that was, again, courtesy of the Ford Pass, right? So the extra stream of income, to me, because it required so much work, I don't think that is it wasn't a pro for me. One of the most significant advantages of a Turo business is the potential for extra income. By renting out your idle cars, which is true, like now I'm thinking like, anyway, renting out your idle cars, you can generate passive revenue. It's not passive. It's not passive. Passive revenue to supplement your regular earnings, right? The passivity comes when they extend. So I would say that that's passive because you did the cleaning and they completed the trip, however they extended. So that is, you don't have to do any check-in, you don't have to check it back out, you don't have to clean it, you don't have to do any of those things. So if they extend, I would say that is the only part of it that is passive. Number 2 is the flexibility and control, right? Which is true because you can change and, move around your schedule as much as you want. Like if you don't want to, be open on Sundays, you can do that, right? But you could be potentially losing out on bookings, because when I went back to work and I had to make some changes on on my schedule, my availability. Because in the beginning, when I first got started, I was always open. So I had the airport and my little drop spot here. So when people would get the airport, it never failed. They'd get, I would say they would book the time to pick up at 10. But if the flight is delayed, there's nothing you could do about that. And oftentimes, excuse me. Oftentimes when they would be late, sometimes I'd have to stay up to like 2. One time it was 3, some after 3 in the morning, I had to wait up for a guest. So, so they say this flexibility and stuff, but really is it? Because if you have, plans or other things to do, you're pretty much in captivity to this business. So I felt like I had and I had even said this too, I believe, in a few videos in the early days, that I created a job for myself. I had created a job for myself, and it was super demanding with these spoiled guests. Anyway, flexibility and control. So as a Turo host, you have complete control over your schedule. You decide when your cars are available for rent, allowing you to manage the business according to your other commitments or preferences. Right? Now, if you exercise that rule, like I had to when I went back to work, it is no longer a pro, because now it's going to be a con. Because guess what? You're not going to be at the top of the list when people are looking. You're not going to be at the top of the search engine because of all of your restrictions. Like I had to put 6-hour blocks on the cars, or a 24-hour time before you can re-rent it, because if in the past, I had like a 3-hour turnover, which was ridiculous, because they'll do it too. They'll just pump it out. But I had to put the 24-hour hold on it, because when a person would turn it back in, and if it was on a work night, if they turned the car in at 7, obviously I'm not going to be able to get to the car until 9 o'clock the next morning, and I still have to clean it. And these cars and SUVs take, 1.5 to 2 hours to, turn them over, to clean them out and detail them and all that good stuff, and get them back up to my 5 stars, standards and stuff. So I couldn't say I could do that, because if I'm at work, there's no way, And then what I would try to do is like, I had got with people who were doing remote hand car washing and stuff like that. I could remote open for them, and they pick up the car, clean it, and all that good stuff, right? But again, now I have to pay for that. So, it's just more outflow. So I don't really think that's a pro. So here, look at me going through all these pros. And I promise I'm not sour grapes, y'all. I really tried this stuff. And like I said, I'm about multiple streams of income, and, being an entrepreneur with something that you enjoy, and that's bringing you some wealth. And see, number 3 says access to a wide market, right? All right. So one of this access to this wide market, to me, is also a con, because with Enterprise, Budget, Avis, these, known car rental companies, you have to be 25 or older. You have to have a major credit card, not an ATM card, but a major credit card. You have to have a credit card, a Visa or MasterCard or American Express, something like. You have to have a major credit card, right? So that rules out several people. So the people that can come over to Turo, those requirements are lifted. So you're going to be opening up to this wide market of some people that aren't, financially set enough to even have a credit card. So sometimes people like that, not trying to judge, but I'm just saying that there's a pattern or character trait for people that, those are people that try to take an extra day, bring the car back late, don't fill it back up, those kind of things like that. Or, trash it, leave everything dirty and nasty and just those kind of things, right? Those are the people that, not saying that everybody, but, it's a high potential, right? So is that really a pro? I don't know. All right, number 4, innovative insurance coverage. Yeah, so they use the travelers insurance and stuff like that. So there was, okay, my Black Explorer was in a hailstorm, and there's all these little dings and dits all around it was I mean, wow. Anyway, it's sold now, but I only replaced the windshield and stuff. But anyway, they gave me like over $7,000 for the damage in it. Like you could only barely see it when you got up to it. So did I get all those dings dented out or whatever like that? And I just replaced the windshield because it was totally damaged. I did some work to it, but so there was with their insurance. I see what they're trying to say there, but it sounds good. But guess what? While the car is in the shop for repairs, you're not earning any money. And having to cancel trips because the car, it was booked out. It just wasn't good for me. All right, and number 5, diverse vehicle selection, which is true. Like people really enjoy being able to rent the Mustang because it wasn't like a average car that you could rent on one of the other Enterprise or something like that. So people did enjoy that. All right, so let's get to these cons. Operating costs. Yes, that is definitely a con because, each month, even when the cars were in the shop, in repairs or out off the platform, I still had operating costs, right? It's time consuming. Yes, it is a big time requirement, and that is a big con for me. And I'm trying to get freedom away from a job, and Turo to me just ended up being a job. It ended up being a job because in order for me to make money, and I had to wash the cars, I had to get the cars, I had to work, and I didn't want to do it. All right, so number 3, risk and liabilities. Yes, I mean, in a year, one day I would sit down and count up how many incidents happened with the cars, but there were several, and at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 4.5, because one Mustang did have a little scratch on it, but the other Mustang had a crash. So 4 cars with real, body damage, and then the Mustang had got a scrape on the paint, the chips in the paint, and I had to replace the whole windshield, right? Out of the 8 cars that I bought for the Turo platform. You know what I mean? So, and, yeah. So, and then the depreciation, I think that's going to be on here too. Competition. So like I was saying in the beginning, I was I was the best deal in town when there was 22 cars on the platform and 3 of them was mine, and I was the thing. And then when I added the other 5 and had 6 because 2 in an accident. But anyway, I was the one. But then other people started to get on the platform, and they let the Turo algorithm set the rates, and it started making the rates super low and slowed up the bookings. I had a lot of repeat customers because people enjoyed the service that I provided. However, after I had to exercise my flexibility right in the competition, those things just destroyed it. It just didn't work out right. And depreciation, wear and tear. Yes, your car is going to be depreciated. So anybody who was thinking of putting their personal car out there, I'm going to say that's like a big no-no, because soon and very soon, you're going to have an accident in the car. Something's going to happen because it's too many things changing place. So it just increases the chances of something negative happening, and those things happen. Those kind of things happen. People get into accidents. People have fender benders. People have flat tires, all those kind of things. And these were just things that I didn't want to get rid of. And so I'm just excited because today I have opportunity to actually put out a video. Like y'all see, I hadn't put video out, and let me see here. Let me just keep it real with you. And then I'm going to let y'all go. All right. So before I just did that live, it had been a whole month. It had been a month. Let's see, when did this come out? June 14th was my last live. And let's see when the last video put out there. Well, this might be a little bit more recent than that. Let's see. Last video was June 19th. So around that same time. Okay. So that's like, almost 6 weeks ago. And that was because, I was busting my hump, working like a mule, trying to, wait a minute. Oh, that ain't me. That's me, but that's me from another time. I'm gonna let y'all see what I'm looking at now. Yeah. So anyway, that's all I wanted to say, and I'll be answering. Let me go ahead and answer these questions. I did have some questions, and then I'll let y'all go. So questions on this last live that just went out. Here, let's go. Share. Share the screen here. All right, so here, please, it's not gonna do it. Is it on this? Yes, it did. All right, cool. All right, so here is, this was me yesterday. Oh, this ain't the one. Sorry. Okay, here, this is the one. Not yesterday, but this one here. People like this one here. All right, so the question here says, thank you for sharing your experience. Very helpful advice. Okay, so that's one person there. Then person here says, at today's Reels info says, the first mistake, you started off with more than one car. You should have started with no more than 2 cars and see how that went. Okay, so I started off with 3 cars, and then 2 of them went into an accident, which left me with 1 car. And then so I go back up there, and the Ford people sold me 5 more. So, the reason why I wanted to start with 3, I specifically went up there to get more than 1 car, was because I wanted it to feel like a business. I felt like if it was just 1 car, it really wouldn't be, like a business. But I hear you, and honestly, today I'm not a cautious person. I dive in there and I go for it. All right. So then KBZ said, what made you choose all Ford vehicles? Also, were you offering delivery and instant bookings? Yes. I just chose Ford because it was a local dealership, and I went there, and like I said, I got great customer service, and they sold me 3 cars. Right? It was easy. It was extremely easy. They and I enjoyed the customer service, and the cars. I thought they were good cars. They were good cars for the money, and that's why I didn't really do much research. And then too, let me tell you this: I really appreciate Henry Ford, the man, for that. So I felt like something special was going to happen with, as far as like finances with this Ford. Like Ford is, a good name. It's old money, and that kind of stuff, right? So the Ford was totally random. Nothing special there. I didn't do any research. and also offer delivery and instant bookings. Yes, in the beginning when I first got set up, the algorithm kind of threw me off into the delivery, and I did do a few deliveries. However, the delivery to me definitely was not. It took a lot of time because now you have to, you know, get someone to follow you when you drop the car off so you can get a way back, right? Um, and the first time I got hooked up with the delivery, I didn't even know it was on there. Somebody was like 40 miles away. And anyway, I had a long drive to go over there to drop the car off. And I had to, you know, bring somebody to be able to follow me there so I could get back. And then when it come time to pick the car up, I had to go drive there again. So that's a lot of coordination, right? For, you know, some chump change. All right, and then instant bookings. Yes, I did instant bookings, and instant bookings to me was me on a rat on a hamster wheel, like on a treadmill, just running around to turn cars over within 3 hours. Like I'm working my butt off because a vehicle would literally come back and then Turo would instant book it out. So now I've got, you know, I'm washing the car to get it ready because these people are picking it up at 3. And then depending on if the person returned the car in decent condition, if you could actually, you know, get it out there in time and still be safe and do a good job, right? So yeah, I did do all those things. And like I said, in the beginning, when I first got started, business was booming. I was super excited. And that's why I didn't have any trepidation when I went back up there after the cars, when I had the crash. And then, you know, the next day, my Mustang got crashed. So here I'm down to one car, my Ford Explorer. So now all 3 of the first 3 cars that I bought have been in an accident. my Ford Explorer just came back in July with a crash side. But yeah, so I was doing all that stuff in the beginning. But when I had to go back to work to be able to pay for this business, I had took away the delivery and the instant bookings because of the times, and I couldn't guarantee that I could, you know, give an instant booking if I'm working. Let's see here. At Moguls or something, it says, just in case you didn't know, Ford stands for found on the road dead. I'm sure he's probably talking about all of the recalls on there. Like a few times, you know, a couple of vehicles would get tossed off, you know, and then Turo would immediately just put your car on, I can't think of the name of it. Well, they will, you know, snooze your listing or unlist your car. They will unlist your vehicle if any recalls are happening. And Ford, you know, they have recalls, lots and lots of recalls. And these were other reasons why I believe the business didn't do well, is because, you know, with cars off on a recall, you know, I can't rent it out, and now I have to pay the note and the insurance, and, you know, it's not earning me any money. So no, I did not know that. Thanks for hipping me. And then Miss Torres says, why Ford? Hyundai are better and more economical. Yeah, maybe. However, Ford does have more recognition to the name. Like people are still kind of like, what with a Hyundai? They look at them as economical cars. But like I said, Ford, it was literally the first place that I went to. I'm an easy sales, y'all. I'm easy. It's easy. I'm easy. So anyway, that's really what it was. Ford, it was the closest dealership to my house. I had planned to go to different ones, but you know, once I got off in there and they, you know, I told them what I was trying to do. Oh, I know how I got the Ford. It wasn't even like that. I didn't just randomly go up in there. I know exactly how it went. my mom was looking for a car, and I had took her up there. She had the Ford something, little Ford car, Ford Focus. She had the Ford Focus that was like 2013. Was on life support, and I was up there with her. And when I heard how much they were giving for these trade-ins for used cars, because of they blamed the pandemic on the low supply, and I was just like, wow, they're gonna give her that much for this bucket. Let me see if I could, do this Turo thing, because I had been thinking about the Turo, but I didn't make any jumps on it. I just looked off into it. I had rented a Turo from a host, just to see like what the experience would be and if it was something that I felt like I could do. So as I'm sitting at the dealership with mom, I I asked the sales guy and tell him what I'm trying to do, and then that's how I got sold the 3 cars. That's how it happened to be Ford. Yes, it wasn't me going, oh, I'm going to go to Ford place, and it wasn't because it was the closest place. It was the closest place, but now that I think back on it, that's how I got up in there. I didn't wake up that day to go looking out for it. I had been thinking about doing the Turo, and I happened to be at the car dealership with my mom, who was trying to get a new car, and I just mentioned what I was thinking to do, and they made it happen. Once they saw I had excellent credit, and those nursing pay stubs, which were like old because I hadn't been working in a minute, but I had made a lot of money I had made a lot of money in 22 and 21 and all that stuff. So anyway, I had that's how it went down. So tune in tomorrow when I let out some more. When I let out some more, and then soon I'm going to be talking to you guys about my new business thing. It's going to be some e-commerce stuff. I'm already putting it together to get back, because I am dedicated to helping middle-aged people overcome the fear of leaving behind that job to start a business, and multiple streams of income is the way to go. And like I said, always good to still have something to fall back on. Never be ashamed to have to go back to work until this gets done. The thing is, never quit. And then never quit doesn't mean sticking with something that's not working, right? Because like I said, I wanted to fold the business back in December, but my oldest son, was like, nah, moms, you built this business, you got, all this, all these cars, and, this is something here. You got to, get out there and do it. So I gave it another shot. And extended another 7 months on that, right? Just because I was like trying to show that, he motivated me to try again. But then it comes a point in time, excuse me. It comes a point in time when you have to call the code, right? When it's okay, we calling it time of death, boom, So anyway, that's what I'm going through right now. So I'm just grieving this here, and we'll be moving on. And like I said, when one door is closed, another is open. So thank y'all so much for stopping by. Like and subscribe, and check me out. Keep it up.